Hello everyone, welcome back to the Keisha Parris Show. On today's show, we have Pastor Darian Blue. Pastor Darian Blue is a Gainesville, Florida native and moved to Greensville, South Carolina in 2011. He became the pastor of Nicholtown Missionary Baptist Church in 2012. Pastor Darian Blue was awarded for Greensville Unsung Heroes for faith and community relations. Also, in 2018, he was selected by Greensville Business Magazine for top 50 most influential men. Please welcome Pastor Darian Blue. Hello everyone, welcome to the Keisha Parris Show. I am here with Pastor Darian Blue from the Nicholtown Missionary Baptist Church in Greenville, South Carolina, aka the Love Center. Welcome to the Keisha Parris Show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Glad to be at the Keisha Parris Show.
Yes, it's been a pleasure knowing you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into ministry?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Okay.
I don't know if we have enough time to
wherever you
answer
want to
that.
start.
Yeah, so I got into, my dad's a pastor,
Okay.
a bishop,
Okay.
and it's never something I thought I would want to do.
Oh wow.
Just seeing his ups and downs and the ebb and flows of ministry, I'm like, nah, I'll leave that to him.
Right.
I'm gonna stick to the streets and just do what I do. But I got into ministry. I don't think my call to ministry was like the traditional call. I felt the call to ministry when I was locked up. It was there.
Yeah.
After running into dead end, you know, brick wall after brick wall, that I heard the call of the Lord.
Okay.
And so my first time ministering was to people who were in jail for stuff like home invasion and strong arm robbery and stuff like that. So it was there that that God really began to condition my heart to the type of people that I would minister to once I got out.
Okay, wonderful. So you talked about getting locked up. Just give me something about your upbringing. So does that mean that you were not in church all your life?
It means that I was in church half of my life.
Half of your life.
So the first half of my life, I was raised by my mom. My mom had a crack cocaine addiction, so you know, bounced around from project to project, hood to hood, crack house to crack house. You know, just really trying to figure life out as a young boy. I mean, you got to imagine not having a mother who gave you her shoulder, her knee to cry on.
Right. I understand.
So there was no emotional availability for me as a young boy. Right. And so I found that in the streets at a very young age.
So talk to me about the streets. When you say the streets, see, I grew up in church all my life. I don't know nothing about the streets. Talk to me about the streets. Yeah. When you say the streets, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean just that, you know, the drugs, the drinking, the partying, the selling of drugs, you know, gangs, you know, all of it, you know, everything that you might hear a rapper talk about.
Yeah.
You know, like I started living that life at a very early age.
Okay.
And yeah, and so that for me that was the streets, you know, the language, the code, the street code, you know. At 8 years old, you know, I was probably doing stuff that, you know, 25-year-old people were doing at 8.
Wow.
So,
how did you survive it? How did you transition from the streets now to being this amazing preacher, having a church, you know, under you, a following?
Yeah, it took years to become the person I am now and the person that I'm still becoming. Because at the end of the day, the reality is that, that my upbringing still exists inside of me.
Yeah.
And and every single day I have to fight to make sure that it doesn't come up.
Right.
You know, I need God to sit on me every single day, because if God doesn't sit on me every single day, then that, you know, that young boy who was raised a certain way, you know, who didn't have that emotional availability when he needed it and found it, you know, in the streets, you know, that it's still there. And I recognize that. But it's been a journey to get to where I am. It hadn't been easy at all.
Right.
A lot of ebb and flows, right? But here's what I will say is that I'm glad that God is so faithful, right? That it almost feel like he factored in like all of the stuff I would have to go through.
Yes.
Because when I look at the people who are drawn to my ministry, it's the people that I grew up with, those same type of people. So if somebody comes to my church, you got X everything, the X drug dealer,
that's right,
the X this, the X that. You know, I get all of those type people.
Right.
I don't really have a whole lot of, you know, those other type beautiful Christians. Well, I think I'm beautiful Christians with the big hats. I don't have them. I wish I did. I wish I had some big hat Christians. Right. If y'all know some big hat Christians, send them my way.
Your way.
Because I want to know what it feels like to have them in my congregation.
Right. So when it comes to all of the exes, how are you able to minister to them? So I know that you have been through some things. How can you encourage someone? Because what I've noticed is I've met some ex-cons, ex-this out there, and they don't believe in church. You know, they think, you know, pastors are taking the people money. They think, you know, everyone in church is fake. I want you to talk to them. Because I feel like because you've been there, you've been through something, they'll understand, you know, you. So let's talk to that group of men, because I've met a few along the way.
Sure.
And the struggle is real. How do you encourage young men like that?
Yeah, I would start off encouraging them by saying that you are absolutely right. Like, whatever you think about church, you're probably right. That let's not play no games with it, right? Yeah. That when you come to church, there are going to be hypocrites. There are going to be people who act like they're perfect. Right. There are going to be people who put on fronts and all of that. Yes. And you do have some churches where some pastors, they do live a certain lavish type of lifestyle. Right. Those are the facts. But here's the truth. The truth is that they're just people. And that I don't care if you go to your job, I don't care if you go to your favorite restaurant, I don't care where you go, people are going to be people. And so when you come to church, you can expect everybody here to be perfect because they're here for a reason. Wow. They're here because they want to be better. I've never heard that before. And so if your hang up is because I ain't going there because everybody in there crooked, they ain't right. You're absolutely right, they're not right. That's why they in there. That's why they're there. And that's why you need to be there too. Wow. Because all of us are on this journey. And this journey does not come to an end until we close our eyes. And I believe in the good of humanity, and I believe in the good of those people that are in that church, and I believe in the good of the brother who might be watching this show saying, I ain't dealing with church folk. And I believe in the good in him. Yes. And I believe the good in him is on a journey, and that the good in him, it will come forth if he gets under the right teaching, the right leadership, and surrounds himself with the right nucleus of people. You know, I believe that his faith will strengthen. That's right. I love that. So as it relates to our young men out there, listen, church, we are just people. Just people. Oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. So many people have asked me that question. Sometimes I'm dumbfounded by what do I say, but God always opened up my mouth. So what about fatherhood? Are you a father? Are you married? Were you married? Let's talk about that a little bit. Yeah, I am a father. Awesome. I'm a father to 5 of the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing children. Wonderful. And I oftentimes wonder why God chose me to parent such beautiful kids. Wow. Because I don't deserve to. And I love my children wholeheartedly. Yeah. And so being that I had gaps in my childhood as it relates to the emotional stuff that I needed, as well as the physical presence as well, that I've tried, and my children are older, pretty much grown now, and I've tried to make sure that I'm there for them emotionally, physically. Yeah. If one of my children called me right now in the middle of this show and say, Daddy, I need you, I'm going to say, hold on, give me 1 second. Right. Pause, cut. You know, we're going to have to take 2. let me check up a baby.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I made a commitment to my children to never allow ministry to come before them.
Wow, that's nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, and so and it's been hard at times, but I feel like I've succeeded in that area. As far as marriage, I was married for almost 17 years. I'm divorced now. It is what it is.
Yes,
things happen.
Yes.
I think that she is my ex-wife is an amazing, wonderful human.
Amen.
And I think the world is lucky to have her.
Yes,
and,
yes.
And the world is a better place because of her.
Wonderful.
And, as long as she has breath in her body, she'll always be a wonderful mother to my children.
Yes.
As well as a light in this world.
Amen.
But I'm definitely divorced and single.
Okay, wonderful. So, sorry, not wonderful. That's
no, it's fine. No, it is what it is.
Yeah. So how long have you been in ministry?
So I've been preaching for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, this year makes 20 years.
20 years,
yeah,
wow.
20
you look
years.
Very young to be preaching for so long.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, so I've been preaching for 20 years, pastoring for 18.
Okay, wonderful. So this year is going to make 18 years?
It'll make 18 years pastoring total, with 11 years pastoring at the church I'm at now.
That you're at right now. So tell me a little bit about your ministry.
Oh, yeah. So we affectionately call ourselves the Love Center. It's made up of people. Again, my church, if you come to my church, especially when I first pastoring there, like, I used to be like, man, it's too clean in here, you know what I mean? I needed to walk in and have a certain type of smell.
Right.
I feel like I grew up in poverty for a reason, right? And so those are the type of people I was going after, right? So one side of my church smelled like liquor, the other side smelled like weed, and you know what I mean? And and the other side smelled like the goody two shoes, I got all these people piled up in here. And part of my gifting is church growth, right? So when I got there was like 40 people. It went from 40 to 100 to 200 to 250 to 500 to 800.
Wow.
We got close about up until 1,000 before COVID broke out. When COVID hit, that was a wrap.
It.
But we saw a lot of growth. We did a lot of great things. I will say that in the height of our ministry, one of the things that was really important to me is that we had just as many men as we had women in our church.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. A lot of entrepreneurs, business owners. We've seen people, who just coming out of jail, coming out of church, now they got their own lawn company and all kind of stuff like that.
Wonderful.
So for me, ministry is more than just preaching, singing, and dancing, right? Because at the end of the day, you probably get 2 hours of that on Sunday.
That's right.
But the rest of the time, you got to live it out here in this world.
That's right. You got to live.
So how do we get the best out of you, right? And I think early on in the ministry, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to be quiet. I think early on in ministry, I think early on in ministry where I don't feel like I maximized, the people in a healthy way, is because I only trained them for ministry. I was training ushers to be ushers. I was training deacons to be deacons. I was training leaders to lead in ministry. But then I got a revelation that I need to train them beyond ministry. Absolutely. So if I'm training a greeter or an usher, I'm not just training them for church. But I'm training them how to do this in the real world as well, so that it can become profitable for them.
That's right.
I don't never want anybody just to use their gifts for the house of God, and then it not translate into other areas of their life to where it gives them and their family an opportunity to prosper.
Right, that's nice. I love that. So you are preparing people not only for ministry, but for the outside world. You are preparing leaders. You are preparing employees. You are preparing entrepreneurs to acquire wealth and build. So do you have any wealth building seminars in ministry? Do you bring things like that in? Like how do you prepare them other than, maybe sitting down in a college setting? How do you do that? How do you build?
Yeah, so pre-COVID, we had a lot of that happening. We had a lot of what I like to call the lock-in, right?
Okay.
To where, we'll have people from our city come in who want to start a business, nonprofit, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And we'll lock everybody in the room. And I'll bring all of my friends who are professionals. And can't nobody leave the room until you finish what you came in here for.
Wow.
Right? So if it was just to get your LLC started, it was just for you to get your logo. If it was just for you to get a website finished, nobody leaves until the last person is finished getting what they need to get done.
Right.
And then we all celebrate each other.
Nice.
You see, so I don't care if it take 10 hours. We're going to be here 10 hours. Y'all signed up for it, paid
Yeah.
the money for it.
Yes,
you know it's
yes.
expected because I want you to be your best.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we had things like that in place. I also created what I call the Nation of Love Chamber of Commerce. But that's a whole nother.
No, let's talk about it. What is that?
So the
Nation of Love. I love the word love. I'm a lover by heart. Go on.
Good, yeah. So Nation of Love Chamber of Commerce, it's a spin-off. The Nation of Love is a spin-off from the Love Center. And so at that time, we probably had about, 17 different ministries that fell up under the Nation of Love.
Okay.
And what we would do is for those people in those ministries that fell up under Nation of Love, the Nation of Love Chamber of Commerce existed just like a regular Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And we did everything, but I think we did it in a more excellent way than your regular Chamber of Commerce would do. So it provided resources, it provided training, it provided small grants, small loans, all that type stuff.
That's amazing.
But it was kingdom focused.
It was kingdom focused. Is it still something going on now as we speak?
So we're getting ready to start it back up in the summer.
Okay.
Again, COVID hit and just kind of shook a whole lot of stuff.
Of course, yes.
But we're getting ready to start everything back up on the Nation of Love piece. I'm excited about that. Really.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
We have
very
ministries in Africa, Jamaica, just everywhere, just part of the Nation of Love. Yeah.
Wonderful. So this is an international thing.
Yep.
Okay, wow. And you guys help people throughout internationally?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Wonderful.
So we're talking about the Nation of Love. When we build a nation, it's talking really about building a nation of kingdom people, right?
Yeah.
So how do we build our own nation? How do we educate our own people? How do we, have our own banks? How do we have our own stores and all of this kind of stuff? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, at some point, we got to stop going to the world for stuff.
That's right.
No, y'all come to us because we got what you all need.
What you need.
And we can give it to you in a more excellent way.
So how does someone get involved? Is it open to different churches to get involved? How would someone be able to get involved in something like this?
Call me.
Just call you.
Just call me.
All right, that's it right there. Just call you.
And
just
see
call
if
you.
you'll be a good fit.
Yeah.
Because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
If I would say this, like churches who are traditionally very traditional, it may not feel right for them.
Right.
But for ministries who are forward thinking, and I'm not saying that traditional ministries aren't forward thinking.
Right.
But I'm just saying for ministries who are not afraid to step outside of the box.
Yeah.
Then you might find some interest in the Nation of Love.
Right, wonderful. That sounds good. I currently go to a church called Servant Church, and Servant Church, we're all about the community, really and truly, and helping, anyone. We partner with Stolen Lunches, which is, I think, is like a global Bible study. And with Stolen Lunches, we come together once a month. We pack bags, and we give them out to the community, and just to tell people, hey, Jesus loves you, and we know that you're in need. But I feel like there's so much more to be done. I would love to build hotels, because I realize here in North Carolina there is so much homelessness. And how can we fix something like that? And we are the church. So that's something that I feel like going forward we can definitely come together and pull our brains together and do as well. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing. I know you told me about you being in the streets, and now you're pastoring and stuff. How can you encourage someone out there?
Yeah, definitely. Just a little bit more about my upbringing, because I don't want to leave this part out. So there came a point in time where my dad came and got me.
Okay.
And so I had a baby sister too, with my mom. And so when my dad came and got me, it left my mom and my sister. But for me, I was rescued out of my situation. My grandparents, my mom's parents. I came home one day, from doing whatever I was doing. I saw some bags by the door, but I didn't think nothing of it, It's about 12, 13. And went in the bathroom to wash my hands, get ready to go in the kitchen to get something to eat. As soon as I came from out that bathroom, the house was small, came down the hallway, I looked to my right where the door was. It was my dad sitting there with them same bags in his hand.
Wow.
And I looked at my grandparents, and both of them were crying and saying, son, you got to go, because if you don't go, you're going to die.
Wow.
And so that's how I left from one place and went to another place with my dad. Once I got with my dad, and my dad's side of the family the structure was a whole lot different. It was more churchy then. You went to church 3-4 times a week, 2-3 times on Sunday. Lord, what is this? It was in the country part of Florida, so now I'm raised up on a farm. So I go from the streets to the farm.
Wow, interesting. How was that transition for you?
In the beginning, it was tough. But my great-grandmother was still living at the time. So I stayed with her because my dad, again, pastor and school teacher, always busy. And she just really taught me about life. She taught me how to, go get the eggs from up under the hen. She taught me how to, wring a chicken neck and pluck the feathers off. And, she taught me how to be in the sugar cane field and how to chop down sugar cane to make syrup with my granddaddy. So all this kind of stuff, man. And I'll never forget, she used to pick up cans along the road. She drives so slow because if she saw a can in the ditch, she was going to pick it up. And we'll pick up them cans, and every weekend we'll have to sit in the yard and press the cans together, put them in trash bags, and take them to the aluminum place. And I used to hate doing it.
Wow.
And she would get money for it, not a whole lot. But when she died, I didn't know that she was saving all her money up for me.
Wow.
So years of every weekend of bamming, what she called bamming cans, taking them to aluminum places. In that moment, it taught me something, very valuable about life. And
What did it teach you?
It taught me that just because somebody don't say that I love you, because my old school is a little different than how they raise you.
They are.
It doesn't mean that they don't. Because I thought she was sweet to me, but boy, she got a cane stick. She'll go upside my head. I'm like, this woman don't care nothing about me. But she did. But she did.
And that raised you into the man that you are today.
It helped me. It definitely helped me.
It helped you, right.
My dad, my granddad, my grandmom and granddad on my mom's side. There's a lot of people who played a part in me, making sure that my life stayed on the right track. Because it easily could have went the other way. And at times it did.
How is the relationship between you and your mom now?
My mom is the greatest source of love for me. And she's also the greatest source of pain for me. And I'll just leave it at that. I love her so much. But it hurts so bad.
Wow, that's deep right there. Wow. I'm, lost for words at that. My goodness. So as it relates to ministry, and, you as a man of God, how do you, because you said that you are recently divorced, how do you stay steadfast?
You mean that's related to women and being
single?
Single?
Yeah. It's rough over here in these streets.
And number one, I'm a man, so I ain't blind.
Of course not.
I know beauty when I see it. I'm not, and that's what I try to. So most people think that and maybe they are. Maybe I'm just a different kind of pastor. Help me if I'm wrong. But I think that most people think that most pastors are like, they don't see beauty.
Right.
They don't have any temptation. They don't, like, all they do is just sit on the throne room with God 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Right, right.
I sit in the throne room with God.
Right.
I do.
Right, right.
But I also got two sets of eyes, and I see beauty when I see it. Like, I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're human.
I think, but the part is that,
yes,
how am I going to act on this,
that's
right?
That's right.
And so, me being a pastor, me being single now,
mm-hmm.
I have to make sure that I constantly, guardrail myself
mm-hmm.
and
mm-hmm.
put up healthy boundaries around myself when
right.
it comes to women.
Right.
Because
right.
I don't want to be the pastor that has 10 women,
right,
and sleeping with 40.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to be married again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm very careful about how long I stare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And about my interactions.
Yeah.
I think I've mastered the church hug.
Right. Right.
There's that side
yeah,
church. I think I mastered that. You know what I mean? Like,
I got you.
And and so I just want to be. I want to be careful because I don't want to be a stumbling block.
I got you. I got you.
And I'll be honest, I'm not saying that in 20 years of preaching that I've dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's, because I haven't.
Right.
Yeah. But the more I grow and the more mature I become as a man and a man of faith, that I'm starting to realize that what I do in my personal life can directly affect my ministry life. And I don't want anything to affect my ministry life.
Right. So you've been in ministry for 20 years. That means you started in your 20s? In your early 20s. Okay. In my early 20s, I struggled so much. Even they pushed us to get married. They pushed everybody to get married in your 20s. And that's what I did in order for me, to, go forward, right? Was it a struggle? Did you get married in your early 20s? Okay. Was it a struggle for you in the beginning of the marriage? Was it a struggle for you in ministry in your early 20s?
It was a struggle because we had kids, had a lot of young kids. So I don't think men ever really got a chance to grow together.
Right.
Because we were just trying to figure out a way how to raise
all
these little babies,
right.
Running around here. And they're so close in age.
Yeah.
And we have 4 in the house.
Oh, wow.
And, man, it was just like babies everywhere.
Wow.
You know, and so I don't think that we just had opportunity to grow together. We just had to grow up quick and figure it out. So it was changing diapers and taking kids to school and going to daycare, figuring out how to pay bills and all of this type of stuff. We got married. We didn't have a lot of money then.
Right.
We grew into money, but we didn't have a lot of money in ministry. But both of us love ministry. And it kind of was our outlet.
Yeah.
But then when we got back in the house, it was just kids.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that is something. I'm going to say it's the same thing for me. I feel like that was the trend back then, just to get completely involved in ministry, completely involved in everything church, rather than everything God. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
When it comes to everything church rather than everything God. Because a lot of people feel like if you're doing something in ministry, that's your relationship with God. What do you think?
If you're doing something in ministry, no, we can do stuff in ministry and have no relationship with God.
That's right.
at all. And and I think it's dangerous to equate, what we do in ministry to try to put that, on a scale as to say, that my relationship with God is good. Because I think that a lot of times people in ministry can do what they do and just be fronting. You know what I'm saying? Like we know that. Just think about it. I mean, in church, we know the language. We know what to say.
Yeah.
We know, and we know how to say it.
Yeah.
Our voice changes and all. Like we just that. But I think real relationship with God comes this is my personal opinion, not in the work you do in ministry, but how you treat other people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? About how you love one another, right? How you look out for those who are hungry and homeless and things of that nature, right? I don't think God is concerned about how good of a usher someone is.
That's true.
Or how good of a, at church administrator they are, which I think those things are good, and it helps, the body, and it helps us stay in order.
Yeah.
But I think what God is really going to judge us on is how do we treat one another.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What do you think, what is your definition of success?
Walking in your authenticity. Walking in the person that God created you to be, and walking in your purpose. So if you're the most authentic person you are, you can be, and you work at Wendy's, you're a success. If you're not authentic and you work at, I don't know, on Wall Street, but that ain't you. You ain't walking in your purpose. Then I don't really consider that success. So for me, success is just being the most authentic individual you can be and being happy with it.
How do you have someone, how can you encourage someone that don't even know what their authenticity is? Because I've met people that says, I don't know what God called me for. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. I just don't know. How can we encourage someone to find their authenticity?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that's a question that I think everybody tries to answer. But I'm going to give a shot at this, right?
Okay, go on.
So I think two things. Number one, I say pay attention to the people that you attract, right? Because I think that your purpose has a lot to do with the type of people you attract.
Say that one more time.
That your purpose has a lot to do with the type of people that you attract.
Wow.
So if you're attracting a certain type of people, you got to ask God, what is it in me that they see, and how am I supposed to minister to them? Wow. It may not be ministering like getting the Bible and the microphone. No, it may be ministering in a different kind of way.
Right.
But for some reason, these types of people keep coming around me. They see something in me. They recognize my genius that I don't even recognize it. They see this spark in me that I don't even see or feel. Then, God, how am I supposed to minister to them? That's number one. Number two, I would say, now, what type of people am I attracted to? Right. Like, why am I so attracted to this type of people, right? Why am I attracted to people in the arts? I could be attracted to football, like I don't even, some people don't even like sports. They just they like the arts. You see what I'm saying? Like, why am I so attracted to the arts? Why am I so, so like, look at who's attracted to you and what you're attracted to, and then just really start paying attention, internally and asking, yourself and God the right questions. Like, is this my purpose in life, to be in this vein? That's my 2 cents at that.
Let me tell you something. It was very profound. It was so profound. So for you, using those 2 examples that you just said, how did that relate to you? What were the type of people that you were attracting, and what were the kind of people, based on what you just said, how does that relate to you? How did you go on?
Yeah, so the type of people that I attract, right?
Yeah.
I attract. I'm a visionary, number one, right?
Yes.
So my range of people I attract is wide, okay?
Yeah.
It's very wide. I'm going to tell you who I attract. And
Yeah.
It always blows my mind. I attract people with a lot of wealth.
Wow.
But I also attract people with a lot of poverty, who live in a lot of poverty. So I feel like, so when I pray, boom, 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 God, I for some reason, people with money always come to me, but people who are in extreme poverty always come to me.
Yeah.
So my responsibility and my purpose is to bridge that gap.
Yeah, and pull them together.
So because I need people with wealth to understand that the people on the bottom, they still have a gift that you might need. And the people on the bottom, you already know they got what you need.
That's right.
So how do I create a table where everybody can sit at this table?
Together.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And mutually benefit each other.
Wow.
And so that's how it works for me.
Wow, that is amazing, because I realize that I attract people that don't have a lot of love or haven't been given a lot of love. So I have this big, huge, humongous heart, and I just love.
Yeah.
So every person that comes into my circle, I'm able to not only love them, but build them up, right? And I can see, okay, listen, this is where God wants you to be. You know, we're not doing a $45,000 job. Why are you there?
Yeah.
You know, you have this, you have that. Let's put your resume in this place. So I attract people that, I won't say broken, but people that didn't have a lot of love in their lives. And when they meet me, it's like, oh my gosh, Pastor Keisha, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to someone checking in on me. I'm not used to someone loving on me, right? So that's what I've noticed with me. And I think that, well, not think, that's why I know that God called me to be a pastor, because I have a shepherd's heart, that if I see anyone going along the wayside, I'm going to go after them, you know?
I love it.
That is deep that you just said that. I've never even, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do we go out and begin to pull people in?
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think that we go out and pull people in by being transparent and honest about who we are.
Yes.
You know, like, because when we go out, we got to think about who we're sending out, right?
Yes.
A lot of times we just send out a representative.
Yes.
We ain't really sending out our
ourselves,
authentic self, right?
Yeah.
And so we send out this representative, right?
Yeah.
And people, they can see right through it most of the
true.
time. You
It's
know,
true.
like, oh,
It's
shoot.
true.
Like, you know,
It's true. It's true.
But then if they can't see through it, then your real self eventually shows up. You know, now they're confused and they're turned off. So what I said, that if you want to go out and reach people, just be your most authentic self. Allow people to fall in love with you and who God created you to be, and not who you want to be. You know, like this representative. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
so I think we do that, and I think we do it together.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
You know, I think that we have become so territorial.
Yes.
You know, in the body of Christ, to where, you know, my church, my ministry, my this, my that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you go to the communities, there's churches on every corner, you know, like, and I think the world sees that, and people are confused by that.
Yes.
You know, like, why so many churches?
Right.
You know, like,
why can't we all just come together?
Yeah, like, why I got to go to your church? Why I can't go to that church?
Yes, exactly.
And now I got to tell somebody why you should go to my church and not that church, you know.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying to them, hey, I just want you in a church.
In a church, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Instead of all memberships, it's about relationships.
About relationships.
Yeah,
absolutely.
let's just build that relationship with Christ. Let's build that relationship, you know, with God. How did you find your authentic self?
Yeah, so I found my authentic self by trial and error. You know, I did. Like, it was, I struggled, Pastor Keisha, for a while trying to find my identity. You know, because there was nobody in the beginning to really say, this is who you are. Right?
Yeah.
And so I found I found who I thought I was just by, trial and error.
Yeah.
And I will say that God does not waste anything. That I found my true authentic self as well by understanding that what I went through, it shaped me to be who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, that's why I'm so open and free to talk about what I've been through, because that's what it created this human right here, this whole person that's full of good and got some bad wrapped in, that's full of, you know, light, but don't get me wrong, because sometimes a little darkness in there, you know what I mean? Like, you got all of this good, you know, like, but the good thing about it is that all of it works together for my good.
And it does.
You see what I'm saying?
It
So
really does.
I found my true authentic self through the trial and errors of life, and understanding that whatever God allowed me to go through and shaped within me, that this is just who I am. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for my mom to be on crack cocaine. I didn't ask to, you know, be in certain situations I was in. I didn't ask to lose my basketball scholarship because I got locked up. You know, I didn't, you know, the last time I was locked up 3 times. The last time I got locked up, I don't even know why I was in there.
Oh, wow.
I really, they don't even know I was in there. Just 90 days, seriously. It was
Oh,
like
my
violation
gosh.
of probation. Violation of what?
What
Probation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So by the time I got out, I had done preached to the pod that I was in Tallahassee, Florida. To the pod I was in. I was locked up for 90 days. I preached in there for probably 80 days straight.
Wow.
I had the whole pod every single morning waiting on me to get up
Wow.
to come preach.
And God did that.
God did that. And so that's how I found my true authentic self. And the
Wow.
people I was preaching to were the same people I was raised up with. It wasn't the same people,
I understand.
the street, you know what I mean?
The same culture.
Same culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got out, same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I had a mouthful of gold teeth back then, and so I got porcelain there, a few porcelain in here now, but
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can say that I found my authentic self after coming out, transitioning, because I was also previously married. And I lost myself completely because I was just engulfed in church, marriage, children. And I lost Keisha in the entire 20 years to 15 years. I lost Keisha. And I came to myself after going through therapy, after, trying to find me, and that's how I was able to find this girl here, Keisha, right? So I can say that that's how I found my authentic self as well. Yeah. You know what? This was a pleasure. Now, if you were to inspire our audience, the youth, what would be something you'd like to share?
With the youth?
The youth, our audience. Yeah, let's start with the youth. And then we're going to go,
Have fun.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah,
was simple.
Like you're young, you see what I'm saying? Like, and the world is different than it was from when we grew up. I want to encourage kids, man, to have fun and be safe. I don't want, my fear for this next generation is that, we might turn them into something that is so unproductive. You know what I mean? Like learn as much as you can, go to school, get education, start your own businesses. If you 15, 16, 17, go ahead and get that LLC. You know what I'm saying? Be creative with your thoughts. Be much braver than the generation that was before you. Shoot for the moon. Like just go as far as you can. Like, you don't have to take the traditional route everybody else took.
Right.
Be creative. Allow God to use you. Keep yourself in the faith. Build a relationship with God. Watch the company you keep. And just grow.
I love that. Well said. Well said. So to my youth, have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun. And enjoy your life. Pastor Blue said, build a business from now.
Yeah.
It will create a lifetime of wealth. It will create a lifetime of success. And what? Success is knowing your authenticity.
That's right.
Praise God. Praise God. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching the Keisha Parris Show. And our guest, Pastor Darian Blue, he goes to the Nickeltown Missionary Baptist Church in Greenville, South Carolina, a.k.a. the Love Center. Are you online, social media? Talk about some of your events that are coming up. And yes.
So this weekend we have my pastoral anniversary. I'm really excited about that. But you can find our church on YouTube or Facebook. Nickeltown Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
So just go follow us and have a good time watching us, and you'll see that we're a group of loving people. Okay,
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pastor Blue, for being here, and thank you guys for watching the Keisha Parris Show. Visit me one more time. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place. God bless you. Blessings always.
This is Keisha Parris Show.